Yeah, we're live. Hello, guys. We're now live. I'm pretty sure we're live now. How is everyone doing today? We're just going to be having a quick, 10-15 minute chat about attachment and mental health. So it's pretty interesting. Simra, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Simra. I'm currently a primary education student at Birmingham City University, and I'm really interested in mental health and all sorts. So I like coming on this podcast to give my little 2 pence worth.
Great. Adam?
Well, my name's Adam, and I'm in my first year of sixth form, and I'm studying health and social, video and photography, and business studies. And I do a live vid on Point WM, the Thrivecasters.
Great. And I'm Hannah Galloway. I'm an assistant psychologist at Heal Hub, and I'm a freak for all of this kind of stuff. I absolutely love anything mental health, psychology related. But attachment, if anybody's done attachment A-level out there, not attachment A-level, psychology A-level, God, attachment A-level. Attachment's like a real big one. Did you guys do psychology at A-level?
Yeah, I did psychology at A-level, and it was like a massive part of the course, actually. And it's like there was a lot of studies into it, and it's really complicated. Like there's so many different versions of attachments and how they form, and it was really interesting.
It does make up an absolutely massive part of psychology. How about you, Adam?
Well, I do have some social care where we learn about the attachment style, so it does link in with psychology, kind of. So I've done a lot on attachment style as well.
Yeah, and also I feel like with that attachment, have you guys heard? Do you think that it's a well-known thing? Because when I actually think about it, unless you've done it, studied it in psychology or just something, I don't know how well-known it is. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of it before or if you find it interesting. I mean, hopefully you do find it interesting if you're watching this, because otherwise it would be boring. But yeah, let's get started. Adam, do you want to tell us what your understanding of attachment style is? Do you want to just introduce it a little bit?
Well, there are 4 attachment theories, which are secure, insecure, avoidant, and insecure. I can't say that word.
Ambivalent
and disorganized. And it's like, for example, it's the attachment you have with your parents or your partner. So, and the attachment you have it impacts your mental health as well. So, for example, people if you're attached to your parents so much and you leave them, you can have panic attacks, anxiety attacks, stuff like that, because I've seen people suffer from them, and they have really close attachment with their family and their mothers, depending on how they grew up.
Yeah. Well summarized, to be fair. Simra, what did you want to just share a bit about what you know about attachment styles?
Yeah. Mine is more of an understanding of how to, because obviously I do primary education, so mine is more of an understanding on the foundations of attachments. So, for example, your main attachment is normally your primary caregiver, be it your parents or grandparents or foster carer, etc. And those kind of form the foundations of your relationship with other human beings. So if you have very secure attachment with those kind of first people that you meet in your life, then further on, as you go into school, you're more likely to have a secure attachment with your teachers, or when you get into relationships as you're older. And what I kind of find fascinating is that your first interactions with the people who take care of you when you're a baby ultimately impact the kind of person you're going to be to your future partner. And I find that super interesting, really. How do we create compassionate and empathetic human beings from the very start, rather than, try and teach children when they are a bit older?
It's really big how the relationships you have, when you're younger, with your caregivers, as you guys have just said, how they can really affect your attachment style. So secure, insecure, ambivalent, insecure, avoidant, or disorganized. We'll talk a bit more about what they are later on. But it is very interesting how they really do affect how you feel about yourself and then integrate with other people when you get older. But the important thing to think as well is that it's not just like if you had a really bad relationship when you were younger, it doesn't mean you're doomed forever, and that's why it's important to talk about this now. So depending on what your attachment style is now, you can get a secure attachment style. It can, you know, through therapy and all of that kind of thing, it can happen. But yeah, it's huge. So yeah. So Simran, do you want to introduce a little bit like about the different attachment styles?
Yeah, sure. So people with a secure attachment are often confident. They're very reciprocal conversations and interactions. They're not reactive to situations where it might be a bit inflammatory, or they don't have like a really quick temper. And they're resilient to change and to any problems in their life. So when we do therapy, we have this whole part of the chart where it is resilience and attitude towards change, or like resilience towards situations. And if you're more secure in your attachment style, you're more likely to get through things better. There's anxious, preoccupied, which is emotional hunger, which means you desire the kind of like validation all the time. A fantasy bond, which means you might, clench onto something that's not there, or overly like create a fantasy in your mind of something that isn't really there, that can lead to unhealthy relationships, etc. And then we have fearful, which is avoidant, which is internal conflict, dramatic. These are kind of children who, if their parents leave them, they're going to scream. Like when their parents leave them alone for 5 minutes, these children are going to scream their head off and not be okay with it. And then the dismissive avoidant, which is like kind of isolated. You don't really know whether you're here or there. They just seem to keep to themselves and they're quite distant.
Yeah, that was really well put, to be fair. And yes, so going back from the names before, so you've got secure, then anxious preoccupied is disorganized. This is the rarest type. Fearful avoidant is ambivalent, and dismissive avoidant is insecure avoidant. And it's really interesting to do your own actual test to see what you are. I'll put the link down below on YouTube so you can do your own test and see exactly what attachment style you are. I don't know whether you Adam, whether you wanted to talk about some of your results and how you think they are true or maybe not.
Well, I need to pull it up. So my attachment, it says that I am. Yeah, here it is. It says I'm more of a secure attachment, and my attachment is usually based around, because I'm currently going to therapy because of like the attachment I have with my family. Because when I grew up as in like living with my grandparents, which I still am, and I have more of secure attachment with them. But I have more of a closer relationship and bond with my friends, which makes me more like taking them in as family than having my family as family, if you get what I'm saying. Because sometimes I don't think I fit in well with, my family ethics and all that. So I'm like the type of person, no matter like what friend it is, I will have to be by them like nearly all the time, or on FaceTime with them all the time. And I get really like my trust. It takes like time for people to win over my trust, but when they have it, like they're family to me. Like I can refer to them as sister, brother, whatever, depending on their age. So I have more of a secure attachment with friends, and due to what happened last year, it does mess with my mental health sometimes. Which I'm not gonna say what happened last year because that's a bit too personal. But yeah.
Yeah, we're opposite ends of the spectrum. I'm insecure avoidant. So with me, it's like any person that can give me that attachment, I'm like holding on to them, and I grasp onto it. And when it's very much a case of very hot and cold, so 1 minute I'll be like, this person is my best friend, this person is my everything, we're gonna be best friends for for the remainder of my life, and this is it, this is forever. And then the next day I'll be like, I don't even like this person. This person does nothing for me. They don't benefit me. And then it's very hot and cold. It's a case of like regulating myself and reminding myself that this is not the be all and end all, Sim. Like, this is okay. It's going to be okay. And it's very unpredictable. But that's because also it does affect my mental health. Like, I'm a very up and down person in terms of mental health anyway. So it is quite unpredictable. One day I'll be like, this person is my everything. And the next day I'll be like, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you ever again. So yeah, it's quite, I find it, my friends find it quite funny now. And they're quite used to dealing with it. They're like, oh yeah, it's just Simra. Like, she'll be fine tomorrow, you know? But yeah, it's entertaining sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, I think for these symptoms, I think I can relate to all of them, and I think it's important to like note as well how they do change over your life, and like, because I can think over the last like however many years, 5-6 years, like I think I've been all of these except for disorganized. I've been avoidant, ambivalent, and secure. So dismissive, fearful, and secure. Right now I'm secure because I'm in quite a happy, secure relationship. But it is very interesting to see how they do change. And say if somebody took this and they were in a relationship, like a bit of a toxic relationship, romantic relationship, or a toxic friendship, it'd be interesting how maybe this could then reflect that. But yeah, it is really, really interesting to see how it does really affect your like mental health and just your like every part of your life as well, the way you feel about yourself, the way you feel about other people. So Adam, like, do you want us to just talk a little bit about how your attachment style can affect like the rest of your life?
Well, it can affect like normal day stuff you do. For example, like if you're going shopping at one point, like if you're in a secure relationship, you're going to be pretty confident going shopping. But if you're, as you said, like in a toxic relationship or friendship, it can make you have like more anxiety issues and problems with your mental health, which could make you like, going through life with basically like, blocking everyone out or just being scared of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to mention her name, but I've got this friend and she's been in many toxic relationships, and it's come to the point she'll sit in the corner. Even in school, she won't talk to anyone. She's only got 2 friends she'll talk to because of what she's been through. She's scared of, going in personal, talking about the problems she has. And it could mess with your mental health a lot. Like, it could lead to you hurting yourself or doing something which is out of character. For example, being good one minute and then the other minute, like lashing out, being angry.
Yeah.
Depends what type of attachment you have.
Yeah. And I can think of like, so for example, I'm in a very good, healthy romantic relationship at the moment, and I have a secure attachment type. And I do really see how those link. Whereas in past romantic relationships that have been a lot more toxic, a lot more up and down, I've been ambivalent and avoidant, and it's really interesting because I've tracked it like over the years, and I've felt, so when I've been ambivalent, I've been like, oh, I'm really scared I'm going to lose that person. I need to like stay away. Oh no, I need to, a bit like how you describe Simra, like, oh, I need like, I'm going to lose them. Oh no, I need to stay away. I'm going to lose them. And like grasping on and then being like, oh, I'm scared. And it's like, if you think about it, relationships and love and family and friendship and romantic relationships are like really important parts of life, aren't they? So if you feel like a certain way towards them, of course that's going to have either a positive or a negative effect on your mental health. Have you felt yours change over time, Simran?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I do think mine changed over time. I think mine has mainly been quite an anxious, quite an avoidant attachment style throughout the majority of my life. But I do feel like when I was in like a more stable place mentally, I did have like a more secure attachment. I had a more of a sense of self-worth. Like, what someone said to me didn't affect me as much. And now it's because of my attachment style, it's a sense of like, if someone doesn't make me feel valid or doesn't make me feel like what I've said is correct or that I'm worthy, I'll automatically kind of like go on the defensive in my own head. And then that affects my sense of self-worth, because I'm like, oh, this person doesn't like me, then why should I like myself, etc. So it's very much like, when you have an unhealthy attachment style, it does affect your how you value yourself and your own opinion of your self-worth, which is really, really unhealthy. Like, no one's opinion of you should ever like make you question your own self-worth. I think that's where we get confused. Like, you're in a healthy relationship right now and you feel secure within that, but then when you get out of it, then you're like, oh, like, what do I do now? Like, how am I secure in, you know, myself without that kind of support system? So that's why for me it's a lot during time.
Oh my God, I completely relate to you. Like, say if you're in a relationship and like this might mean you tend towards more of an insecure attachment style, not you specifically, but just anyone. But if you're in like a relationship and like you put all your self-worth into that relationship and like
100%, yeah.
and then if you lose the relationship and it's literally like, okay, what am I, like what the heck,
Oh my gosh,
yeah, like it is massive. And I feel like it's attachment is just not thought about unless you literally take psychology and stuff. And also like how much of an impact your family and fit people have on you when you're really young, but then also what you can do to like to look at your attachment style. I'll link in the description of this YouTube a couple of Instagrams that have more information about attachment style and like how they affect your mental health and stuff. Just like for more reading, and then also like what you can do to like work on those attachment styles. It's really interesting. But yeah, and it also so like things like negative self-talk, feeling down often, maintaining relationships. Like
yeah.
if there any of those ever seem like an issue, then it might be good to like have a read. But it's really important to say as well that a lot of the research with attachment styles is just how, oh, you've got an insecure relationship, insecure attachment style. That means you'll have a bad relationship. That's not the only way to look at attachment style. It's more like how it affects your mental health as well. There's so much to it. But yeah, do you guys have like anything else you want to add with regards to like attachment style and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, like regardless of what your attachment style is, don't tie your self-worth into the person you're attached to, or don't let the fact that you're not attached to someone determine the fact that, you know, regardless of your attachment style, you know, you should have an identity in yourself. And make sure you keep that. Like, don't lose that amidst, you know, all the chaos of getting attached to someone.
Yeah, and I think just like psychoeducation, just reading into it, it might just help a few people, and it might just be interesting to be like, oh, maybe that explains why I feel this way, or you know, and it can just make life easier and more enjoyable. Were there any questions, Adam?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, it's short but sweet, but it's interesting to talk about, and hopefully it's been enjoyable. You can reach me at my Instagram at Hannah Kate Galloway. Adam, from yours?
My Instagram is Adam_Matara, but it's probably too late at the start.
I have a Twitter account which is Miss_Kosa, so you can get me there.
Wicked. Thanks for watching, guys, and bye. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.